Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Jeremy Gray and today we are going to go over the best vlogging settings for your Canon EOS M50, so let's get right into it. The first and most important thing is to switch your camera over to manual mode. If you've never shot manual before, welcome. Next, we're going to change your frame rate. You're going to go over to 24 frames per second, or as your camera's going to say, 23.98. That is the industry standard. It is what most of your videos are going to be shot in, and it's what most of your videos are going to be exported in. So you just want to keep it at that, unless you have a different reason to do a different frame rate, like slow motion. After that, go ahead and set your shutter speed to 1/50th. The reason for that is double your frame rate rule. So that's going to give us 1/50 because there's no 1/48, and it's going to give you the most natural looking motion blur with your frame rate. I've always used the neutral profile on the Canon EOS M50. It has its limitations, but it's going to give you the most dynamic range, so go ahead and switch over to neutral to capture the most information. Now, this is where it's going to get personal. Let's say your ISO and your aperture. Let's start with ISO. ISO essentially is light sensitivity. Now, the lower the number, the better. So go ahead and switch it to 100. The reason for that is the higher you go, the grainier your footage gets, and this Canon EOS M50 is not great in low light, so the higher you make your ISO, the grainier and muddier your footage is going to get. You want to keep it as close to 100 as you possibly can when you're shooting. I really don't like going above 400 with this camera. So now let's go ahead and set your aperture. This is going to vary depending on the lens that you're using. I'm going to assume that you're using Canon's kit lens, the 15-45. The widest aperture for that lens is 3.5 at the widest millimeter focal length, which is 15. So go ahead and set that to 3.5 so we can try to get that nice bokeh with the creamy background that everyone wants. Now typically it's going to be too bright outside to use the widest aperture, so your best friend in the scenario is going to be a variable initial density filter, so hopefully you have one on hand to use that so you can shoot wide open. And that's it. Those are my most common settings for vlogging with the Canon EOS M50. Things can change. Like currently I'm using the EFM 22mm lens, which has a wide open aperture of f2, but I am using that variable ND filter to keep the light in so I can shoot wide open f2 and get that nice creamy background. Now if this video helped you out, feel free to leave a thumbs up because that helps me out. If you have any questions about the settings that I'm using, feel free to drop a comment. I will get back to you. Subscribe for more content. And if you want to check out any of the gear that I use to make my videos, there will be Amazon affiliate links down in the description. They'll bring you over to Amazon to see what I use, like stuff like the neutral density filter that I'm currently using, which is very, very helpful. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope it helps, and I appreciate each and every single one of you for continuing to support this channel. I'll see you on the next one.